Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Mcfarlane Toys Collector's Edition review. Here I have 4 of the figures from the newest Collector's Edition wave. I also have Freddie Freeman, but he has not got delivered yet. Apparently he got pushed back for some reason, so I'll do a separate video on him and maybe another figure or two. But I have 4 different figures here. We got Lobo, we got Black Canary, we got 89 Joker, or rather inspired by 89 Joker, and we have Vigilante from the comics, not from the Peacemaker TV show, although it is on the rumored list, so fingers crossed, right? But excited to look at all of these figures, but mainly the reason why this video took so long for me to actually get to is because when I bought the 89 Joker figure, they sent me the Platinum. This one will stay in my sealed collection, so I decided to get the regular one. Thankfully, I was able to get it in on a restock and got it for retail. I didn't have to overpay, but looks pretty good. Can't wait to see how he looks next to Keaton Batman. But if you are looking for him in person, there's the barcode for you. Next up, we got Black Canary here. She's looking pretty good. Empty looking box, though. There's the barcode if you're looking for her. I think most of these figures are still available online, but, you know, it may vary depending on when you watch this video. Lobo, I didn't get any of the other Lobo releases, so I'm excited about this one. But there's the barcode for him, and he is a hefty boy, by the way. Like, you could hurt someone with his package. That sounds like an innuendo. That's not what I meant. But that's something Lobo would probably say. And I got lucky and got the Vigilante Platinum from Best Buy as well, so this one's inspired by the Justice League Unlimited color scheme. The regular just looks like this one with the blue here and the light blue jeans, but this one's dark blue and white. But yeah, he's looking good, and there's the barcode if you're looking for him. To note, both Joker and Vigilante have the collector's age 17 plus on them, as well as them saying 17 plus up here, or as the other two say, 12 plus. Lobo, he has a gun, as you can see, but it's, you know, non-realistic looking gun. But anyway, let's get these all opened up. That took some time getting them out of the boxes, but let's go ahead and take a look at their shared accessories. So, all 4 of them, of course, come with a DC Multiverse stand. Those go in the pile. Vigilante has his on him because of how his feet are. We'll take a look at that in a bit. Each come with a trading card. We'll do a quick look at all those. There's Lobo's. I like this one. Real name, not applicable. I thought Lobo was his name. Anyway, Black Canary's here. At least we're actually getting some decent write-ups on these characters. I don't think they're AI generated, but also I want to make sure that the names are correct, because on the last wave, Detective Chimp and Zatanna got their names swapped for some reason. Here's the 89 inspired Joker. This one has a very long read-up. And then Vigilante here. I think I like his the most. It really reminds me of like a trading card. Greg Sanders. And then something I like to do with my Platinum chases. This is not something I recommend doing because it's dangerous, especially if you are not a trained professional like myself, is I like to cut the Platinum sticker out, and then I like to put them in a binder. And speaking of which, all of these cards, they're going in a binder. So, my binder's getting pretty full. I had to buy a second one. But, let's see, who do I want to start with for the rest of their accessories? Let's go with Black Canary first. So, Canary here, she comes with 6 different hands. They're all a set, so on the figure, she has her right trigger finger hand and her left fisted hand, and then there's the matching pair. And then she comes with these splayed open hands. You know, I know they're all the same hands that we've seen plenty of times, but I do appreciate getting them, even if they're the exact same hands that we've seen for almost every single, you know, female action figure in this line. So, 3 different face plates. So on the one, she's got a bit of a smirk we'll take a look at in a bit. And then she's got 2 others, a more stern expression on my right, and a screaming head on the left, which actually, I'm going to go ahead and put that on. There's the smirk for you. And that's all of her accessories. She doesn't come with all that much. It's, I think the only other thing I would have liked, well, The only other accessory is actually on the figure, which is her leather jacket, which is removable. But really, there's not much to see here. I'd have to take the head sculpt off, and... Alright, we'll do it real quick. Alright, I gotta take her face off. Sorry, Canary. By the way, one thing I want to point out is the hair is glued. It will not come off. It is not designed to. Oh, actually, you know what's weird? You can actually see the peg through her face hole there. Alright, you know what? I'm going to pause the video and then I'll come back when her head is off. Alright, so I couldn't get her hair off, so I just took her jacket off. But there's what she looks like underneath her jacket, with her collar here piece being a separate piece. But that's what the figure looks like. It looks very empty in the back, but I'm certain that this torso piece is a reuse of the classic Wonder Woman figure from Page Punchers. But let me go ahead and put her jacket back on so she doesn't look as scary. Alright, back to the accessories. We'll do Lobo next. So as Lobo is mostly, or completely, reused, he actually comes with some new accessories. Now, I don't have the other two versions, so I can't do comparisons, and I don't know if any of these accessories are reused from those two particular releases. But he does come with some new accessories, like this dolphin. Yeah, they just gave us a dolphin. Lobo and his dolphins, man. And it's almost the same color blue as he is. This one's a bit more of a sandy blue, whereas this one's more of a slightly bluish white. But, you know, he's got his dolphins, and it does have a blowhole. Because, you know, that's the most important part of the dolphin, right? Not the gills to breathe, but the blowhole. But, yeah, painted nicely, and I like the expression. It's kind of angered, like, not again. Not this Cesarnian. He comes with this big-ass gun, this space gun, which he can hold, stick it in there. And as this figure is giant, if you haven't noticed, he can hold this giant gun just fine, no problem. He's got enough friction to hold it up, too. Seriously, though, this thing is a good paperweight. Like, it's heavy, man. So, the fact that he can hold it up decently well in one hand, not with both, but just one hand, I think that's pretty impressive. He also comes with, now that's a knife. He comes with this nice looking knife. It's got a skull at the end, tiny ass skull, but it's hooked at the end too. This is really cool, and a little bit serrated too. Obviously it's not a real knife, it's not going to hurt, but getting that into his hand's going to be a pain in the ass, also because the handle here is painted, but I'd show you what it looks like in his hand, but honestly, his hands do not want to budge. Like, I can only get that weapon in there because it just slid right in. This one, yeah, this one ain't going in, guys. Sorry about that. And the final accessory, which is my favorite, oop, I thought Canary was going to fall for a second there, is his hook. This hook is cool, man. You want to know why it's cool? It comes with a chain. Not just a chain, a metal chain. Like an actual metal chain. They put that in the action figure. They put the metal in the action figure. And you know what? I'm going to pause the video so that I can put it in his hand. Hell yeah, that's cool. That's definitely going on display. I don't even care about the other accessories, save for the dolphin. Alright, now we move on to the figures with the most accessories in this particular set. We'll start off with, I think Joker has more, so we'll do Vigilante next. Now, I'm certain that most of these are reused accessories, which I'm fine with, but I think it's mainly the weapons that came with the Jonah Hex figure. So, starting off, he comes with a bit of a hatchet. It's a hatchet. It's a hatchet. That's all I can really say about it. He comes with a knife. I should have started with this one. That's not a knife. Now that's a knife. Oh, well. I'm not going to go back and edit it, but yeah, he comes with a knife. It's painted white on the hilt. It's cool. He comes with a rope here, so he can do a lasso. It's not as golden as Wonder Woman's from the Collector's Edition line. It's also not as big, but yeah, if you want to unfurl it, there's a little piece of tape on it. Personally, for me, I like to keep it furled, or whatever the correct term is. But if you look here on the back of the figure, you'll see there's a bit of a hole here so that he can put any one of his accessories. So The knife doesn't really go in all that well. I think the hatchet goes in best here. Yeah, the hatchet's what goes in best. And then if you want to somehow find a way to thread the lasso through, or the rope, I guess, you can. But I think for me, on my display, I'm just going to have him with it around his arm like this. So if you want to see that, there you go. That looks good. A little too high up, but you get the idea. And then he comes with 3 different projectile weapons. First things first, he comes with this very nice rifle. It's not a bayonet, of course, but that'd be cool. You know, just take this and there you go. Now it's a bayonet rifle. But I don't know what specific type of rifle it is, but I really like it. I think the silver is a little too bright. I would have gone with gunmetal silver myself. But, you know, if you look at the comic, or rather, the image card, you'll see that the weapons, they're more of a silvery blue color anyway, so I'm fine with it. And then lastly, of course, you can't have a cowboy without some revolvers. Twin revolvers, they're the exact same. And they got the, I don't know, like, very yellowed milk color to them. But, of course, you can put them in his holsters, either that way, or I think the intended way, that way. Although in the comic he has them flipped other way around, or rather, again, using the art card as reference, you can see he has the one flipped around. So if you want to do that, you're going to have to find out a way how to do that. So there's that. Speaking of belt, his belt is removable. At least the lower belt, as you can see. But look at his dump truck, dude. Dude's got a dump truck. I'm going to keep that belt on, if it can even stay on. It's getting caught on something here. But there we go. I thought that was cool. His belt's removable if you don't want it on for whatever reason. But yeah, you can put his guns in the holsters, or of course you can... And his hand doesn't want to move either, but since this is a revolver, it should just slide right in, no problem, or with little issue. Thankfully the guns are a little warped, so you can actually... And yeah, I would probably use a hairdryer to get his hand a bit more warm, so that you can actually, you know, open the hands. But I'm not a big fan of the poo brown color they picked. This is like diarrhea brown. Like, this is something you'd see in a baby's diaper after they ate some canned peas. Or crushed peas, mashed peas. Nah, whatever, but... Anyway, that's his accessories. We're already 13 minutes in and I haven't took a look at the figures yet. What's going on here? Joker. He comes with his megaphone, which is horribly warped out of the package. But of course he can hold that in his hands here. I think they're trigger finger hands. They look like trigger finger hands, but I'll have to actually put something in them. He comes with this a beaten stick for beating people up. I don't remember what he used this in the movie. I haven't seen 89 in a while. Was it when he was breaking stuff at Vicky Vale's house or apartment? I think that was when he used it. The accessory I'm going to give him is his bang gun. Love this one. Really like this one. And then he comes with his absurdly long revolver, which he used against the Batwing, I'm pretty sure. That one I do know. I like this one too. It's just dumb. We've had other molds like this in the past with the accessory pack, so it's nice to see an actual figure. His hands-wise, he comes with a pair of fists. You obviously saw the trigger finger hands. And he also comes with some splayed out hands. I really wish one of these had his buzzer in it, though, where he electrocuted the guy to death. And also, he has a removable hat and hair combo. And looking like a Lego minifigure there. But you can take the hat and hair off to just have some hair. Not the biggest fan of how they did this. I would have preferred if the... that does not want to go in. Alright, give me a sec. This is as far down as I could get it. There's a little bit of a gap. It should go down a little bit further. But I'm not sure I like the hair. I'm not a big fan of it. I think I prefer the hair hat combo myself. Which, here's that. Looks good. But obviously this is supposed to be a representation of the 89 movie Joker. But for legal reasons, or rather likeness rights reasons, they can't get Jack Nicholson's likeness, so they do this pseudo kind of like Jack Nicholson Joker. And obviously the platinum is from one of the toys back in the Kenner era. So speaking of which, since we got him here, we'll do a little bit of a comparison. So if we look at the face sculpts, the one in my left hand here, it's a more realistic one, whereas the one in the package here is more of the toy one. Even the skin tone looks way more like a toy on here than it does in here. This one looks more realistic, as it should, because it's a representation of that movie. But, man, this Joker figure is really nice. I think what really stands out to me is the paint job. Now, the torso piece, I believe, is new, but most of everything else is reuse. And if it's not reuse, it's very well done. But if you look at the tie, you'll notice that he's got some polka dots on it. I thought that was really cool. Black light doesn't really shine on a black light, but what does is his pants here. All of the purple squares, yeah, those are all painted. I thought they were just the same color as the surrounding squares, but no. It's actually two different shades of purple. There's a brighter purple and a darker purple, as well as the green in there too. But that is fully painted. This really reminds me of when they did the Two-Face figure from Batman Forever. That figure is in my top 10 favorite figures of the entire line. And this one continues that tradition of just going all out with the paint job, and I cannot gush about it enough. It is very well done. The paint job, superb. Even around the knees where I thought they would get it like off center or wrong. No, this is incredibly well done for a $35 figure. Obviously back then they were doing the Build-A-Figures for $25, but at $35, I mean, look at what they can do. That's insane. I'm so glad I waited to get the regular version to open up. But we got some comic figures to look at next, and Vigilante's calling me here. So obviously I showed you all the accessories and where he can put them and what he can do with them. But one thing I left out was actually his bandana here. So again, if we take a look at the art card, you can see that it has it around his face there. And of course you can do that with this figure. Might be a bit of a challenge to get something in there. We use his knife. We use his knife here to pull his bandana up, cover up that nice looking face of his, get it above his nose, and yeah, he can get it all the way up there. He can actually get it up further, but that's what she said. But it looks good. It looks a little thin around the top because, you know, the materials they use are not super, they're more transparent than they are opaque, but yeah, it looks good if you want to keep him like that. Obviously, I wish it wrapped more around his jawline so it didn't look as bunched up and thick, but, you know, if you mess with it a little bit, it starts to look a little bit better. I believe most of this figure is reuse of Jonah Hex. The torso is probably new. I think that's the only thing that's like super new. Same thing with the head sculpt here. Speaking of which, the head sculpt does not have an alternate hairpiece. However, if you wanted an alternate head for this figure, get the Blackhawk figure. It's a good head sculpt because it comes with an alternate hairpiece. So you can have the hat on or you can have the hair. So if you want him without his hat on, just get the Blackhawk figure and swap that head onto this body. Obviously, this being the platinum, the colors are different. I have no problem with that. This was probably the only platinum I was like, yeah, I really want that, and I got it. So sweet. But something you'll notice about this figure. What are those? Thigh swivels. One of the only figures in the line that has a thigh swivel, like an actual dedicated thigh swivel. Like what? Todd, what are we doing? You pulling out some bangers in the final year of the line? It's crazy, man, crazy. But like the pink job on the buttons on his long sleeve shirt there, but not really liking the Pooh Brown boots or gloves. It works for the belt, but not the gloves and the boots. Like, I'm okay with that color showing up every now and then to signify like dirt, but again, if we look at the card here, this is more of a bright brown versus Pooh Brown. I don't like the Pooh Brown. What I do like is the belt buckle though with his Vigilante logo. Although there should be another one underneath it. Again, showing the card. It's a common occurrence in this video, showing his card, but I'm going to go ahead and take this down so we can get a look at his smug face. Yeah, he's smug, alright. Gives me a John Barrowman likeness. I don't think it looks bad. He's got a Peter Griffin chin. It's very butt chin-like. It's not just a shadow. But the scarf is removable if you took the head off. I mean, there's nothing underneath it except some molded detail of his shirt there. He's got a collar. Kind of wish they neglected to put the collar on so that the scarf here kind of sat a little bit better. But it's still a nice little attention to detail there. Let's do Lobo next. He's mostly reuse, but this is the first time I've gotten a Lobo figure. And yeah, he's pretty great. One thing I do want to mention is he has tears in his shirt here, but you can't see his skin. You can't see his skin underneath. So I really wish they added some paint there, but otherwise this figure looks great. They even gave him a mustache. Hard to see there, but it's definitely there. Looks like eyebrows. Eyebrows for his lips. That's a mustache. But they actually added a bit of a blue highlight to his pants. I like when they do that. Same thing with his jacket up here. There's a bit of a blue highlight. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe if it's a little easier to see with my black light, how the light hits the blue paint there. Speaking of paint, look at that hair. We got Wayne Static over here. Looking good. Look at all that hair. Speaking of hair, that jacket, bite me, fanboy. Although the B in mine is a little bit, like, worn down. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be worn down like that, but I didn't notice, but he actually has the studs on his belt painted, too. That's cool. And it's in the gunmetal color, same as his hook. The back is mostly unpainted on the pants. They don't have that blue to them that the front does. I might add the blue myself. I got some extra paint. Take a crack at it. His shin guards look great. They even have the stars and the triangles on them. I like that. The toes, they look good. It's a very spiky figure, but very rubbery. Honestly, if you stepped on the hairpiece, you'd probably be in for a bad time. But any other part of the figure, you'd be fine. Speaking of which, unlike Canary, his jacket is unremovable. Boo. Boo. Good looking figure though. Really glad they made a collector's edition version. Black Canary. Many people, myself included, have been wanting Black Canary in this line since it started. And I'm glad they waited until now because I think we got a pretty good representation of her, but there's still some things I don't like about this figure. But what I really do like is the soft good fabrics. While we don't get a accessory for her sonic, blasts from her mouth, we do get two different soft good pieces here. We got the jacket, which I showed you, which also forgot to mention, has a canary on the back. And then she comes with fishnet stockings on both of her legs. Now, this isn't like a pair of pants that goes on the figure. This is actually in the sculpt. So she doesn't have a boot swivel, but it actually goes down underneath the boot. No matter how much I stretch it, it won't come up any higher. So it actually goes underneath the boot, and then if I articulate her leg forward, you'll see that the fishnet actually goes up and then into the actual plastic of the figure. If I stretch this, you can see that there's a bit of a line in there where the fishnet goes up and under. So really cool that this figure has fishnets. Really bad for customizers, though, if they want to take this, or rather these legs, and put it on another body. Because, it's not just like a pair of pants that you would put on. Again, it's something that's uniquely molded to this figure. You can see the back here, the line on this side is pretty good, but the line on the other side is really, really not. I'm not sure if that's like extra material. Yeah, okay, there's some extra material in there. I'll see if I can remove any more of it later, but that's how they did that. Oop, that's coming up. Yeah, there's definitely extra material in here, so I'll worry about that later. I'm still not a fan of the dump truck they give these ladies. It's not that it looks bad, it's just giant. And it just doesn't look appealing, I guess. Because, like, from this angle, it looks fine, but then, like, when you get to the side, it just goes whoop. Like, it's just so weirdly disproportionate. I'm not a fan of it. But I do like that they gave her these shorts, like cargo shorts, or not chinos, definitely not chinos. They're more cargo shorts because they got the back pockets and they got some side pockets, although they're very high up. I wonder if they're actually functional. But the belt buckle is painted. Speaking of painted, I already showed you the torso of the figure, but I'll give you another look at it. This is supposed to look like the one in the art card, but I'm really not a fan of the torso they chose just because it looks nothing like the comic here. I really wish they went for more of a Zatanna body mold on this figure. I think that would have worked better. Obviously, it's not going to work for Black Canary because that one was specifically molded for Zatanna and it wouldn't translate over here, but I still think it would have worked better because this is the first appearance Wonder Woman torso, which does not articulate forward or to the sides all that well. It's not great. I don't mind the paint job, but I think if it were me, I would have removed the straps here around her neck. But then, again, it would look weird proportionally. But I think it looks weird now because of how big her face sculpt is here, and you can't move the figure up, or her head up rather. You can't actually get her into any good screaming poses. Like, you can get her to the sides, and down, but you can't actually get her in like a, maybe I can do it with Joker here, but like he looks up and then he can like, scream like that. She can't do that. I wish that she came with an alternate hairpiece. We saw with the Zatanna figure, her hair came off. This figure would have really benefited from a removable hairpiece, but alas, it does not come off. And I already showed you the underneath of the jacket here, so articulation-wise, it looks like it's reused from every other female figure, Hawk Girl, Power Girl, Wonder Woman, etc. But with the jacket on, I guess I can show that. You can still get most of the range of movement out of it with the jacket on, so you're not really missing out. And of course, because it doesn't hit that midsection joint, and because that midsection joint doesn't articulate, it's annoying. And leg-wise, you would think that the fishnets get in the way, but they don't. Like, she can articulate just fine with them on. Obviously, I wouldn't leave those in poses for a long period of time because it might stretch the fabric too much and then it looks very loose, but, you can do it. It looks good. And take a look at her boots. I almost forgot. I think those are brand new sculpt. I mean, they have to be to accommodate the fishnets here, but yeah, really good Black Canary. Not a ton of articulation in her, but we'll go back to Lobo. I obviously haven't taken a look at this body mold yet, so let's see. Lobo cannot kick his own ass. That upper joint can go a bit more, but on my copy it just doesn't want to. He's got the big fat ball joints. It's a big fat figure if you haven't noticed. He's got the toe joints, and he's got a bit of pivot, but again, it's hard because of how big those toe joints are. Got the kicks all around, can almost do the splits. He's got the double ball jointed torso, just like most other figures in this line, but he actually has a decent bend forward. And then arms-wise, the jacket doesn't get in the way at all. You're not missing out there. Double jointed elbow. Ow, I just pinched my finger. Ow. Double jointed elbow, he can almost touch his shoulder, but not really. And then the hands, they don't get in the way. Head sculpt can look up pretty well, look down a bit. So yeah, Lobo's looking pretty good here. Got no complaints with his articulation. Obviously, I'm sad I don't have the Space Hog version, but I am glad I waited for this just for that metal chain and dolphin. Joker, you already saw his head sculpt, but his arms can go all the way. I don't like how that ratcheted. He doesn't actually have a diaphragm, or not diaphragm, a rotator cuff piece in there, so he's got free range of movement. And the jacket here really likes to move with the arm, which is a good thing. But I don't like that. That's a 360 there. We got a double jointed elbow. which I felt like almost broke there. He could probably touch his shoulder, but it's not easy. And then you got the hand movement. He's got some tiny-ass ball joints there. I'm not sure what these arms were reused from. His torso piece is basically just a giant piece of plastic bridging the top to the bottom. So, while he does have a good range of movement, it is limited because of that. But, you know, you can get him in certain poses, but not keep him in certain poses. And speaking of which, his pant piece goes up pretty high too, so... at least this plastic here, it's very stretchy. But yeah, he's got some big pants, dude. Talk about big shoes to fill. Nah, talk about big pants. Kick-wise, he actually has a great kick. It's not fully forward, it's slightly rotated, but looks great. You can even do the splits if you wanted to. And obviously when you start to articulate the legs, the pattern gets broken up. Still doesn't look bad, but yeah, really cool. And then obviously the head sculpt. You already saw what Canary's head can do. That sounded gross. Vigilante. His head can rotate. And the scarf comes with it too. Cool. And then you got pivot. And if I can adjust the scarf here. It's more of a stretchy fabric too, so it's not going to break on you. Arms wise. And decent amount. And then, we get the double jointed elbow. He can actually touch his own shoulder. The only one that probably could, say for Black Canary, without her stand there. Speaking of stands, his one just fell. Don't know where. Think I got it. There it is. Let's put that back in there. Kind of hard to get the stand in there. Crunch-wise, that's that crunch. That's that one. Backwards pretty good. Obviously, those are both on ball joints, so you can get decent amount of movement out of those. His crouch, so he could do the splits if he took his belt off, but with them on, it's not great. But I do like that it is, you know, freely floating on there, so you can take it off if you don't want it for whatever reason. And then I already showed you the thigh cut. Kick forward, not much. Even with this off, I don't think it would go even more forward. His knee joints here, he can kick his own ass. And then, you know, he's got a ball joint down here, which you've seen plenty of times. But the problem is it's like it's centered forward instead of centered center. So it doesn't allow him to stand up easy. So you might have to use a stand for yours. But it's now finally time for my favorite part of the review. Size comparisons. Lobo's obviously the biggest here. He stands at 8.5 inches at the top of his hair. At the top of his head, he's more like 7.5 inches. Dude's got an inch of hair on his head. Black Canary, 7 inches tall. Joker, slightly taller. And then Vigilante, he's more like 7.25 at the top of his hat. Closer to 7 inches at the top of his head. So I don't have a ton of figures to show off here, but we got Shining Knight. This is the female platinum version. The only version we got. Hopefully we get the male version, but I don't expect it anytime soon. But, you know, we got the duo from the cartoon, technically speaking. For Lobo and Black Canary, I brought out Superman, just to give you an idea height scale. I think they finally got a decent height for female figures now. They're not as tall as Superman, but they're not taller than Superman, you know? So, I think they look pretty good, and he looked good next to Lobo as well. Speaking of Black Canary, here's the Green Arrow figure. Really the only comic book Green Arrow we got. We got the Injustice 2 one, which I might go back and get at some point. But I'm fine with this version. Hopefully we get like a proper comic Ollie in the line, because he's much shorter than Black Canary. It's not as easy to see on camera, but if I raise this up, you can see just how much shorter he is. Even next to Joker, he looks like a joke. And then finally, I couldn't find my 89 Batman figures. I have 2 of them. I don't know where the one I have upstairs is, but I got the Returns Batman, which... yeah, these two didn't technically interact, this suit with this character, but gives you an idea. They're basically the same scale, which is true. So I don't think we'll do a size comparison to the usual suspects, so I'm going to leave it here. But what do you guys think of these 4 figures? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you chasing any of the Platinums? Do you want me to actually do a review on the Platinum Joker? Again, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.